I'm Cal Holt.
And I'm Vicki Holt.
We've been members at First Pres since 1977.
That's how many years?
I don't know, I can't add. Tell me. A long time. We went to Dr. McCain's Sunday school class when we first joined the church. And every week, Dr. McCain would ask me a question. And it was always a very difficult question. And every Sunday, I feared going to that class because he was going to ask me a question I couldn't answer. One Sunday, he asked me, Cal, what does predestination mean? I sat there for a minute and said, well, I guess when my lawnmower doesn't start, I don't need to mow the yard that day. Right after that class was over, I walked out of his class out into the hallway, and there was Bill and Claire Nichols coming out of the senior high Sunday school room. For some reason, they asked me would I like to teach that class. I said I'd do anything not to go back to Dr. McCain's class. And that's when it started over 35 years ago. And I've taught that class ever since.
I started singing with the choir when Callan was 5 years old, and she no longer needed somebody on Wednesday nights so I could go to rehearsal, and she could sit with her daddy during church. And that's really my love. I love singing in the choir, playing handbells. That to me is worship, is to sing beautiful music. When I had my cancer experience 12 years ago, I mean that's the first group that I told other than my family was to go to choir that Wednesday and at rehearsal and say, you know, I've got breast cancer, please pray for me. And it was my family, my support group that kind of got me through that.
Both of our children grew up in this church. Both were baptized by Dr. McCain. Both had many parents through this church. I can remember one instance when we told our son he couldn't do a certain thing, and he said, but everybody else, his parents, is allowed to do this. I said, I can give you a phone book and a list of names to call if you would like, and ask them if they would let their children do these things. He said, okay. You know, that's what the church is about. Not only there in support to learn about your faith, but to help you raise your family. And again, both of them came through the church, were influenced by so many people. And still to this day, having left the church and gone on their separate lives, the church is still here to support them. I can remember the first time Callan did Youth Sunday, and the little girl that would run down to try to sit by Dr. McCain during the children's service was up there doing the sermon and doing an incredible job. Or the time after 9/11 that I came in the church to pray, and Shelley Jones was here. And she said, your son just left. What can you say? That's what this church is about. Incredible, gifted people loving each other. And I think that's what Jesus had in mind.